The most common belief in the fitness industry, which is being pushed around, is that more equals better. People think that the reason why they're not growing is because they're not spending enough time in the gym. People are pushing hour and a half workout sessions, gymming 6 days per week, and a lot of people think that this is the solution to build their dream physique. Whereas it's interesting because it's not until I actually really cut down on my volume and really upped the intensity and how hard I was training, instead of worrying about how much I was training, that I actually really started to make the best results of my life. And people have a lot of other things going on outside the gym. A lot of people have long hours, a full-time job, other responsibilities, and for a lot of people, working out more than 3 to 4 days per week doesn't actually make sense. And one thing that people don't realize is you don't need anywhere near as much volume as you think you do. And you can actually build a significant amount of muscle off just 2 days per week. So in this video, I'll go over the exact routine I would do if I only had 2 hours per week in the gym. So to start it off with, at the start of the week, I'd do a full body day one on Monday. I'll start this off with an incline bench press. The reason why I would do chest first is because the muscle groups that you really want to pop out and have the highest potential for growth, you want to put them at the start of your workout. As you induce fatigue, each set offers less and less stimulus. So the muscle group that you really want to build up, you should put this right at the start of the routine. So I'd do that for 2 sets, and then I'd move on to a bicep movement. I'd probably aim more for the long head, so I'd do a close grip incline bicep curl. Then I'd move on to triceps, I'd do a tricep extension, and then I'd move on to lateral raises. And then to finish it off, I'd do a quad movement. So this could be anything from Bulgarians to leg extensions to even hack squats. Now the reason why this works so well is because you're building up your chest and you're also getting some front delt activation from that incline chest movement. You're then hitting your biceps and your triceps, and then you're building up your lateral deltoids. These are huge to actually make you look wider in your shoulders, which is really essential for that V taper and that aesthetic look. And then just moving on to a quad movement at the end to really finish this off and to get your legs activated as well. I'd then probably take 3 days off in between and then come back on Friday. Now the reason why you take 3 days off in a row is because you want to give your muscles, your joints and your tendons and also your nervous system enough time to fully recover. It's when you do back-to-back workouts where a lot of people hit a wall because they plateau, because the fatigue accumulation is too much and they haven't actually given their body enough time to fully recover. And their nervous system isn't ready to actually activate those motor units, which are essential for muscle growth. So in these 3 days off, I'd probably go outside, go walking, and do some zone 2 cardio. This is great for your heart health, for your mind, for your lung capacity, and just also your overall longevity. You want to be able to move a lot more blood and oxygen through your muscles and through your vital organs. This is also going to really help to increase your productivity in the gym because your strength and your recovery is going to go up. Then moving on to Friday, this is when I do a second upper body day. I'd start off with a shoulder overhead press. This is going to work both the lateral deltoid and also the front deltoid. So it's another really good movement to build up the shoulders. And again, I'm putting the shoulders first because I think the chest and the shoulders are the 2 muscle groups that you really want to pop out as a natural bodybuilder. These are the 2 muscle groups that I just think make your physique look so much more aesthetic and are just really going to give you the highest ROI. So I put that shoulder movement first. Then I move on to a back movement second. This could be a movement that's going to really work your whole back. However, I'd probably want something that's going to work my lats as well, just to give me that width, which I think also looks quite aesthetic and just brings out that V-taper look. So this could be anything from pull-ups to lat pull-downs. And again, I'll do 2 sets of those. Then moving on to rear delt flies, just to build up all of the shoulders. If you really want to get that 3D capped look in your shoulders, you need to be hitting all 3 heads. So we've hit the anterior, the lateral head. Now we're going to hit the posterior or the rear deltoid with this rear delt fly. And this is just really going to help build up that 3D shoulder look. And then I'll move on to kind of like a hamstring and glute focused lower body session where I'll do a hamstring movement. This could be anything from Romanian deadlifts, it could be leg curls, lying or seated, and then I'll move on to a glute movement. And my favorite movement to build up the glute is hip thrusts. So that's going to be the routine, Monday to Friday. You've got on Monday, kind of a full body, which is more quad focused. And then on Friday, you've got a full body which is more glute and hamstring focused on the legs as well. And I feel like this routine is perfect. It's going to build up the shoulders really well, the chest really well, it builds up the back, and there's also some good stimulation on the arms and then the legs as well. So you're really getting a lot out of this routine. And it's really essential to note that I'm only going to be doing 2 sets on each of these exercises. And the reason why is because if you actually train hard and you train with intensity and go close to failure, leaving just 1 rep in reserve, then you're really getting all you need and all that growth stimulus that you require off just these first 2 sets. It's where people think they need more volume than they actually need, and then they just go through the workouts leaving 3 to 4 reps in reserve and leaving the essential reps that actually really give them progress. This is where people get caught out because they think they need more volume, whereas what they actually need is more intensity. And it's in those last few reps as you go closer to failure where you're really stimulating that growth. So if you cut back on the volume and just increase the intensity, you're going to find that your progressive overload and your strength is going to go up massively. This is exactly what I found when I started cutting back my workouts and cutting back the time I spent in the gym. I just found that when you only have 2 sets on each muscle group, you're just going to push a lot harder naturally because you know you've only got 2 shots at it. Whereas if I was doing 4 or 5 exercises or even sets for any muscle group, I just managed to lag and I would just leave a lot in the tank in each exercise. And then as you accumulate fatigue, you're getting less and less stimulus throughout the routine. So I just found that 2 sets works absolutely perfectly. And then for rep ranges, I'd stick between a 6 to 10 rep range. I think this is the perfect rep range for hypertrophy. It's high enough so that you can activate enough muscle fibers, whereas it's in that range where it's not too high, so you have to drop the weight too much to get into that high rep range, which is going to induce fatigue and also decrease the amount of mechanical tension, which is absolutely crucial for muscle growth. So that's pretty much the routine. This is everything I do. On the weekends, I'd probably throw in maybe 1 sprint session or just another zone 2 session. And then I'd have Sunday where I just fully have a rest day and take the day off. And I think that this routine here, just 2 days per week, is going to build you a lot more muscle than you actually realize. So if you're someone who's really busy and you don't have enough time to dedicate 3 to 4 days in the gym, I think this 2-day routine is absolutely perfect. And it's going to give you a lot of the benefits that you can get out of any other training routine just by doing less and doing it more intensely. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope this helps you, and let me know what you think in the comments below.